Today on Raleigh Smoke, I'll be looking back and sharing with you this passing year's collection of videos that went wrong, unseen footage of cooks, products, and projects that I've been working on, plus the greatest thing I did all year. This is 2018, A Year in Smoke. Now every May, my wife and I travel to the Smoky Mountains for our anniversary, and I always bring my WSM. But this year, I decided to bring the kettle too and do a side-by-side rib showdown between the WSM and the Slow and Sear. Let me tell you, the setting was amazing, the views were spectacular, the sun was shining. This was going to be one epic cook. But after two major thunderstorms, managing temps became too difficult, so I wound up finishing the ribs in the oven, which made this video a wash. For my next attempt, on July 4th, I decided to do a standalone rib cook on my brand new Fire Engine Red limited edition kettle with an all new Slow and Sear 2.0. And like all my past videos, I aim to learn a few things, like don't add water to the trough if the coals are hot. It's actually in the instructions, don't do this. And since my mother was always giving me a hard time for using parquet in my rib wraps, I opted to try real butter this time in a wrap. So there you go, Ma, real butter. I also set out to learn and experiment with what's called a toothpick test, which is another way to tell when ribs are done by checking the resistance between the bones with a toothpick. Oh, and 12 Bones had a brand new strawberry jalapeno barbecue sauce out this summer, so we're going to give that a whirl. All in all, the ribs were a little overdone, but otherwise, everything was going great. Unfortunately, the ribs slid off the cutting board as I tried to open the screen door. Needless to say, this video was to be tossed out. Last Christmas, my wife was kind enough to buy me a Cajun Bandit rotisserie for my WSM, and I planned on doing an unboxing video, but I just couldn't find the time. Once I did unbox it and put it to use, I gotta say, one of my favorite things to cook on it is certainly Peruvian chicken. Now, there are a lot of recipes out there for Peruvian chicken. It's very similar to barbecue chicken in the US, being that there are a ton of recipes and they all vary slightly. I've tried many and I found one that I really enjoy. And I will say, traditionally, Peruvian chicken is done on a rotisserie or a spit over lumped charcoal or shoveled hot wood coals, but you don't have to have a rotisserie to do it. If you got a kettle, you can simply spatchcock your chicken, use some lump, and it turns out really well. You can also split chickens and hang them like I have here in the Gateway Rib hanging rack in the WSM, which I might add, the smell will probably make your neighbors crazy and they'll probably come over. Peruvian chicken is a real crowd pleaser. And don't worry, I do plan on doing a video for all of this, but I just like to master that green sauce that goes with Peruvian chicken. No recipe that I found in books or online yet compares with what the restaurants put out. So I'll keep trying, and you keep your eyes out. This summer I got a half set of grill grates from my Weber Genesis, and although I do use them on the gasser, I've enjoyed them much more on the lower section of my WSM for reverse searing thick cuts of beef like these New York strip steaks. All I do is cook them slow and low until the internal temperature reaches around 115 degrees, and then let the coals and the grill grates get screaming hot so I can finish them off about a minute or two per side. What you're left with is a show-stopping steak with a beautiful medium rare center right out of the SCA. Now, I've not only done this for steaks, but plenty of tri-tips too. And as you can most certainly see, the finished product is killer. And just this past week, I did a reverse seared, bone-in, or standing prime rib roast for the very first time on Christmas. Did the exact same way. Of course, everyone was pleased, and the reverse searing was a lot of fun. I gotta say, I love my grill grates. Be looking out for that prime rib video too. Now, one thing I love to do is constantly check Craigslist and other sites like that for deals on used smokers. And this spring, I picked up an 18-inch Weber Smoky Mountain for only $100. It was in pretty rough shape, but I got her cleaned up and back in working order. I did some side-by-side cooks, had some fun, had some plans to film something with them, but the porches started getting crowded. So after a quick family photo, I did what was best. I gave the gift of barbecue to my brother-in-law in Ohio. P.S. I don't actually own a minivan. Not yet. Now brisket is something I really started to work on. I've done 3 full prime packers this year, this being the 3rd one you are seeing, and with every cook I've become a bit more comfortable with the trimming and cooking, and I'm learning some valuable lessons like, in my opinion, coarse salt and pepper is the right rub. Lump charcoal should be used over briquettes. Pink butcher paper is a staple. Cook until probe tender, not temperature, and don't slice too early or too late into the rest, like this one. Now oddly enough, the first packer I cooked seemed to come out perfect for whatever reason. Sooner or later, I'll get around to doing a video when I feel a little more comfortable with brisket, or I get a really sweet offset. Now I can't go without saying, I would have put out some of this material, but frankly, I just got busy, because the greatest thing happened to me this year. I became a father to a little girl.